set box is like 160 to 170, and collector box sits right around 200.
You think the EV of a Wilds? I guess maybe with that enchanting things. That's crazy.
Yep.
I should be opening those.
No, you're already cranky enough. We don't need Louis Maz box opening, Josh without his steel reserve, and me cowering in the corner.
Okay, go ahead.
Whoa! Welcome to May the Zoo be with you, America's most favorite MTG podcast. I am, of course, joined by America's most favorite pubescent boy who loves Diet Pepsi, Josh.
That is easily the worst thing you've ever said on the podcast, by the way.
Yeah. That might reflect more poorly on you than it does on me.
No, your love of Diet Pepsi reflects poorly only on one.
I'm a little ashamed that you're on the podcast because of that, but we'll let it slide last week.
Steel Reserve is easily the most delicious thing you drank last week.
Louis, you're rich and out of touch. George, you're old.
Because I drink Diet Coke.
What kind of fat cat are you?
Rich and out of touch. I'm pretty sure Pepsi's more expensive than Diet Coke.
It was free. We went over this.
I wasn't paying attention.
Do the program, dude. Go with the intro. What are we doing?
Do your research. I am also joined by the man who's believed in every TCG the last 20 years, except for Lorcana, Louis DeGeorge.
Yeah, that's right. I hate Lorcana. Just because I won't say that just because I won't say it's a massive, resounding success. I hate it. Heaven forbid we be critical on something. And we are joined by the man who nets us negative 500 views when he comes back on the podcast. George, welcome back, my friend.
You gotta wait a week and then do that nonsense. You get an extra week on me.
It's been exactly a week since we recorded.
Yeah, so their view counts for 2 weeks. Mine's for 1 week. You gotta wait a week.
We're so glad you're here, buddy. So glad. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. It's gonna be a spicy podcast today. We're all cranky. We're all coming at each other.
Are we all cranky, Louis? Is that the correct phrasing in that? Are we all cranky?
This week, we decided not to talk about the play boosters. Psych. Of course, we're talking about the play boosters. We're going to break that up into 3 segments.
Psych.
And then we're also going to talk about the Doctor Who and Universes Beyond excitement going on. I got some Pikachu promo cards, so I'm going to tell you about my experience getting the Pikachu promo cards, and then we're probably not going to talk about it anymore. We're going to talk about sorcery players because everyone hates them. And we're going to talk about Lorcana's new OP kits coming out. So strap in, everybody who's watching. It's going to get spicy.
We're going to talk about the Pikachu play promo. I got one, you didn't. All right, moving on.
It's like the only thing people care about in Pokemon. It's the only successful Pokemon release in the last year. So
God, 151 UPCs going for our cost already. Stunning.
One store who got a bunch of them today from Distro. It's one
That's
store.
How it starts.
TCG
That's
Player.
How it starts.
110 on TCG Player. You exaggerate things so ridiculously.
You want to bet they'll go down? Want to bet they're going down or no?
Of course they're going to go down. Everything down.
Okay.
Welcome to Pokemon.
Yeah, welcome to Pokemon. That's out of the year.
We need Taylor Swift. We talked about this. We need Taylor Swift to start opening Pokemon cards to save the Scarlet and Violet.
Did you guys see the movie?
No.
It was amazing.
No. I heard she pulled like 7 songs from it.
It was amazing. And did you guys know that Logan Paul did not even wear his Pokemon card around his neck anymore during the fight? He has given up.
Because he knows that Taylor Swift's going to start pumping Pokemon for us.
Oh, that'd be so good for us.
God, it'd be amazing. Can you
that'd
imagine?
Be so good for us.
The average age of my store would decrease by like 10 years.
God, it'd be like Josh is there all the time then.
Is this like you're trying to make fun of me because I don't look old? Is that what's going on?
All right. Look little like you're growing your beard. I like it.
You're missing. It's not great.
What are play boosters? So did this big information surprise you guys this week or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did it surprise you?
Did it not surprise you?
I've been calling
all their booster boxes or do you have is your inside source Rudy?
No, this surprised me. I remember, so I posted a video this week, and then George sent us this link, which apparently was 2 hours after it posted. It made me feel like George might be up on the times more than I am, which is terrible. And then I deleted my video so that I can make a video about this that day.
Did you delete that video?
I posted it the next day.
Which you weren't going to do, by the way. Good job.
Yeah.
Is that an algorithm thing?
Well,
little
like,
bit. A little bit.
well, it's more like, I wanted to save a video for the next day. It's less work.
You just hate working.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
Just 10 minutes
less
a
work.
day, all I can put out. That's
Yeah, that's all it takes to make a video, baby. All it takes, 10 minutes.
Have you seen some of my content? It is all it takes is 10 minutes to make a video.
No, I haven't seen that content. I don't pay for the extended service.
Sucks to be you, man.
All right, let's talk about play boosters. So they came out and they said goodbye to draft boosters, goodbye to set boosters. You're gone forever. Nobody cares about you. And now they have just play boosters and collector boosters. So this is going to go live with Murders at Karlov Mansion or Murder at Karlov Manor.
Wait,
Manor.
Jumpstart's still a thing though, right?
We don't think so because it was pulled for Wilds of Eldraine. So the theory is no Jumpstart either.
Yeah, I'm guessing we'll get a Jumpstart 2026 or something like that, 2025.
And then maybe like a Lord of the Rings when we get to Final Fantasy, a Jumpstart there as well, probably.
Yeah. So, and the play boosters are going to combine basically set and draft boosters to make them one booster pack. You're going to have a common slot 1 through 6, and then the list slot, and then 8 through 10 are going to be uncommons, and then the rare mythic slot, basic land, and then another wild card and another wild card that's foil, and then you're going to have your art card. So, what do you guys think?
You're so bad at tossing the topic off. You do
Why?
this every week.
I think intro it.
The thought on the forefront of everyone's mind is all about the price. So let's analyze this, price being its own thing. So let's talk about just the combination of the booster pack and what it's going to do to the community and how we engage with the Magic product, and then let's talk about the price. How about that?
Yeah. I want to know what the enthusiasts think.
I think this is a really good move. Okay. Well, if you don't want to know, you don't have to know.
I forgot all about that.
Tell me what you think, bud.
Okay, so
they had a problem. Okay, before we get started, can we all just say that Mark Rosewater deserves a round of applause for the way he laid out the problems and the reasons for this change?
Yeah.
Like, they gave every TCG a total masterclass in how to handle major pivots in the business. They deserve a lot of credit for that, I think.
Yeah, and like the article was super well written, and it was honest, and it was open, and it answered all the questions that they knew people were going to have. I think that's super good.
Yeah.
To me, it screams this idea that like there are people at Wizards who care. They're just held back by Hasbro. You know what I mean? Like when I read the article, it's like Mark Rosewater wants this thing to be a success, and he wants to.
Why do you think Hasbro wouldn't want this to succeed? Like, why do you think Hasbro's like, I have an idea. I can kill the only thing in my company that's making money. That's the big brain.
Well,
play.
they just want to make money off of it.
Yeah, that's what businesses do.
Sure. I have no problem with that.
Unless they're a failed AI company, then they don't make money.
You have to have AI to have an AI company, George. I don't know why you didn't go with that. We'll talk about the money side of it and business side of it, I think, on the money side. But like the article screamed to me that Mark Rosewater cares. And more than that, it was the tweet he replied to somebody. Somebody asked something about limited play. I think I put it in our Discord, but about limited play. And he responded like, without this change, drafts were going to go away. Limited play was going to disappear.
Draft boosters.
And we care about limited formats, and so we made this change to save limited formats. It almost felt to me like somebody higher up from them was like essentially, hey, we're going to kill draft boosters, and they fought for trying to make a change to save the limited formats. That's
this is some great speculation. I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah,
this is some great speculation. I am here for it.
Like it tells me.
Who do you think sent that order from on high? Let's name and shame, baby.
Oh, Chris Cox for sure.
Yeah, the cocktail party coming back again.
He couldn't find the Wikipedia article for draft boosters. He just kept finding different beers. Yeah, drafts. I don't know. Drafts or so. He didn't get it. He thought everyone was just drinking while they were playing Magic.
This is why the views are down. This is why the views are down.
What?
So okay, so let's talk about the packs. Like, I think like the packs were cool. Like, I think like the packs, there's some fear about like the bomb card or whatever, like, but like, again, like I trust Watsy to figure that stuff out.
I think that's a valid concern, though. I mean, they
I'm not
addressed
saying it's not a valid concern. I'm saying
it's valid enough that Rosewater brought it up in the article. Like,
well, anytime you completely change the shape of the limited delivery model, that's going to be the first concern. You go from 1 rare and maybe a mythic if you foil in a pack to up to 4, and then foil slots where things can get nuts. Of course, that's going to be the concern. But we just talked about how draft boxes were going to be discontinued because nobody's playing limited. And I guess if your choices are, buddy, limited is not what
true. I don't think that that's the point. I don't think the point is that nobody's playing limited. I think the point is that limited doesn't sell enough boxes compared to what people are opening.
Wait, say it again?
Limited doesn't sell enough boxes compared to what people are opening. You can have a successful format where a lot of people are playing. I think probably more people play limited than a lot of the other. Like, do you think more people play limited than Pauper, or more people play limited than standard, standard?
Yes.
Yeah. So like that's the second most played format in Magic the Gathering, maybe third behind Modern.
I would think it's way above Modern.
I maybe.
So it's the second most played format in the game. So obviously it's important.
Well, I mean, like, and this is where I think it's important to kind of specify like what is important, right? Like, I think this to me is a sign they're saying we're not done with paper Magic. Like, all this hubbub about like going online and MTGO and MTG Arena, that's all cool. We still need paper Magic. Like, to me, like, that's what this is. Because, like, listen, like, if you're like, I don't care about paper Magic, you can get rid of draft boxes, and you can go. If you're just worried about collectors of cardboard, you can go set collector and call it a day. This is saying, like, we need the LGS, and the way that we support the LGS is candidly with draft.
Yeah. All right, I want to go back to the limited experience. No, I agree with you. I think we'll talk about that. Like, I want to stay on topic. So Josh said something about the pulling multiple rares. We had this discussion in our store. We do draft every Friday night. We were talking about it in store on Monday when they announced it. I actually think this is a better initial draft opening. When you open your pack in current draft and you have 1 rare, you're almost locked into, if that's a bomb, if that's the most powerful card in your thing. Like, you're almost locked into just picking the rare and that kind of sticking you into a color or an identity of whatever. Whereas if you pull one, you have 3 or 4 different powerful cards, you get to choose a lot more options in your initial picks. And I think that goes a long way. I think it's going to make draft decks more I guess better across the board. Like, it gives you more of an option. It gives you more versatility in building your draft deck. I think that's going to go a long way. I think it's going to be really cool. Like, I'm legitimately excited for this change for the actual picks of a draft experience.
You could tell me that story. There's also a lot of cases where the rare isn't necessarily the bomb. There's a lot of bombs at uncommon. There's some bombs at common. So it's all going to depend on set design. But that's what I think the biggest takeaway here is. Everything we're laying out is about how the experience is now about the set. It's no longer about the product you buy within the set and what's included in that product, right? Set design is going to be what rules it all. It's going to be, hey, is this a good Magic the Gathering release? And that's going to drive whether products are good or not, more so than how bomb heavy something is. Because when we're all gathered around the same product, we're all going to have that shared experience. And if it's a bad shared experience, we'll tell you about it and we'll tell each other about it. But if it's a good experience, I think that's going to drive some of that hype we've been missing and some of that connection to the product. And frankly, I think that's a massive win. I've always said, and I've said this for a while, I never thought it would happen. Gathering around one box again is a big win. It's that shared experience is what we've been missing.
Yeah, we talked about this on the phone. You like that a lot. I still feel like that's not the case though, because of collector boxes. Like, you're not going to have the highest value cards in these boxes. You're going to have still like no chance at getting serious, which I think is the right thing. I just don't think they've tied the whole community together. You're still going to have people who predominantly do collector boxes or people who predominantly do play boxes, people who don't care about the high-end flashy things and people who do.
But we're far okay, sure, but we're more tied together than we were a month ago
Yeah,
today.
I agree. We're more.
I also think that like collector boxes to me have their own universe.
Yeah.
I think like that's a different buyer. The same buyer, in my view, bought set and draft just for two different purposes. I think Josh is right about that. I think like collector buyers are their own world.
Sure.
All right, I'll leave my thoughts till we get to the price because I got some. I'm the only one that's anxious about this. I'm the only one in the world.
It also it also solves a limited issue with them removing the commander cards from the set packs, and like it like you're not going to have like the bomb issue because you're not having the commander cards on this tier where you can get that in a draft format or whatever.
Well, kind of, right?
But that's
because
the one you're talking about is curated though, and they said they're going to curate the list slot and curate the special guest slot for the draft experience. So like
the list will be draftable.
The list slot is draftable,
and the special guest slot is
though. It's changing. It's going to be 40 different cards rather than the huge list that they have. It's just 40 cards. 10 of them are new art special guest specific within the set, and the other 30 are curated. Right? Isn't that
hold on. What is that face for? Because this is a pretty well agreed upon win.
Yeah.
We instead of a 500 card list.
I listen. I'm anxious about this box. I'll be perfectly candid. Like I am anxious about this box. Part of it's like I'm a boomer, right? Like I've had the same Magic the Gathering box since I was in undergrad.
Yeah.
This is all new, and like, I hope they're on top of this. Like I hope this is where drafts can become unfun is if they mess up the list slot and like someone's like, oh look, I win.
The list slot is going from 300 to 40. The current list slot is 300 cards. Not
Do you
really
think
curated.
it's because they want to put in all of the reserve list and like they want to like curate that down to just reserve list cards?
No, I think that it's going to be 40 cards that are reprints that may or may not be needed in financially, but reprint cards that they think would be good for the draft environment, draft format, and then really the way is to bring in this special guest slot that they're debuting with Lost Caverns. That's going to be a way for them to put things like Universes Beyond into regular sets. Like you're going to have Jurassic Park cards in Ixalan.
Like we'll have that in a minute. Like I think that part's good. Listen, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And like this is one of those ones that like scare me.
It is broken though.
The draft box is not broken. It didn't sell well, but it sold enough. It was not broken. It's the same box for 30 years.
I mean, but it didn't sell enough, right? Because they felt the need to change it. And you just said they're a company that wants to make money.
Added set boxes.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not like people stopped playing Magic. They bought something else.
Right.
Like the draft box has worked for 30 years, and now it's different. That, like, I know I'm alone, and, like, you guys can all write the OK Boomer in the chat, and Josh will tell me you got 45 OK Boomers. But, like, God, this, I'll be candid. This, like, and I am well on the record as, like, somebody who, like, really tends to believe in Magic. Not the Penn and Teller, the company. But, like, this scared me. This scares me.
I don't think that there is anything broken necessarily with draft from a playing perspective. I do think that it's probably not. I think it's probably not the best idea to just say if something's been the same way for 30 years, we shouldn't change it. Like, you can make things better over 30 years, and I think that there's a potential that this draft experience is a more fun experience than the previous draft experience. I go back to the idea of when you're first picking your cards, you have way more options. Everything is open to you. Like, that can be, if they do it right. Again, we're assuming that they do it right, but Wizards is great at limited formats.
But they did change the box, right? Like, they added foils, they added more rares, they added mythics. Like, they've added things. Like, it's not the same box over 30 years. They changed the box, but the box, what's in the box, has been the same.
But I think the problem is draft boxes prevent them as a company from growing the Magic the Gathering ecosystem into things like set boxes and collector boxes because of inventory issues. And they cited that, right? They have to produce a whole nother box. That's extra money. They have to store a whole nother box. And they always have issues with overprinting, but they probably have to print a certain number of boxes in order to get discounts at printer time and blah, blah, blah. And like at the end of the day, it's the same thing for the LGS. LGSs have to have another shelf for draft boxes.
That's where I'm most sympathetic. Is that like I think we stopped carrying draft. Like we only had set and collector at the end. Like it was like I'm most sympathetic to that. I guess like man, like this is one of those ones if you're WotC you can't miss. Like you can't mess this up. Like if the draft experience sucks with the new box, you're gonna set 100%. Magic back a long time.
I 100% agree.
And it's not going to, before every indie TCG players are going to mess it up and are going to get our day in the sun, they're just going to stop playing TCGs. Yeah. They're going to go do something productive with their time. They'll go to the Taylor Swift movie. They're going to go play a video game.
They're going to play video games. That's what people do.
Yeah, like and go to the Taylor Swift movie. Relax, boo boo. And like at the end of the day, like this is one of those moments for WotC that like man, the pressure is on. You can't mess up draft.
Yeah,
that's how stores keep their lights on.
I can't tell you the last I can't tell you the last time I didn't feel like a draft format was fun in Magic.
That's my point. That's exactly my point.
My point is that also proves that Wizards knows what they're doing in curating drafts and creating draft experiences.
So it's the same box. It's the same draft box for 30 years. They've had 30 years to work out the kinks.
But like
they've had 30 years to work out the kinks.
Sure.
Now they have one set to figure this out. I guess, listen.
I disagree with that too. Like Double Masters was a really fun draft experience, and the draft packs had 2 foils and 2 rares, and you could get 4 mythics. Yeah, I think you could get 4 mythics within a pack if you got stupid lucky. So they have toyed with different things. They have tested out different things, and they've been successful.
This is radically different, and I think you know that. Like this is a big shift, and like, listen, like I mean this sincerely. I hope they come out and hit it out of the park. I really do. And I think they will. But like, man, there's a 10% chance they completely mess this up. And like,
that's a high risk.
That's a high risk.
There's no way of actually curating what percentage chance they have to screw this up. That's just your opinion. But
that's my gut.
If it's 10, that seems like a high risk. I agree that.
Yeah, I mean, that's my gut. Like, I mean, what percentage chance do you think it is they mess it up?
That's good fun. I'll save that for the Lorcana segment. I'll be like, there's a 10% chance they don't print boxes, and there's no way to prove it.
I almost got myself banned from a different indie TCG. You're going to talk about printing boxes? What percentage chance do you think it is they mess it up?
I have no clue. But their history tells you that that they are good at making limited formats.
I think people are undercharacterizing the risk of a new box.
I'm excited for it. I think it's good. Let's transition to Josh. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I think part of what you're missing is something you've hit on before. You've said that people in your store have played draft with set boosters. In fact, recently you didn't even know that people couldn't draft set boosters. We've talked about people drafting collector boosters. I mean, people just play Magic. Yeah. They could screw this up for the really hardcore limited players. You're right. It could become this, but you know what? Most people are still going to show up to pre-release and play Magic because it's Magic. If people are drafting set boosters, if people are playing limited with set boosters, if people are playing, uncommon, common pile, shuffle up and play 40 card formats out of their bulk, they're going to show up and play Magic. Or maybe they won't. You're right. I don't know.
But I mean, the stores make money on F&M. That's when Magic booster boxes get sold. You don't make money in the draft. Is that those players come in and buy the boxes. Yeah. If people don't come in because they don't like the draft experience, F&M looks a lot like a lonely store owner talking to their lonely employee, going, "Hey, man,
what happened?
So this kind of sucks."
I think there's a better.
Want to play God of War?
I think there's a better chance that a specific theme doesn't fit for a Magic player than there is that they would make this change without doing their homework and making sure that it's fun. So
there's a deeper reason people don't show up to F&M. I have one of the most popular F&M scenes 20 minutes from my house in the Chicagoland area. It's massive. They run massive tournament series. And guess what? During the Midnight Hunt era, the limited play experience was incredible. You know how many people were at release at that store? 6. it's not all about this overarching, is it the best experience in the world? There are other factors here. I think this box goes a long way to answer those factors. I mean, heck, now there's an opportunity.
Everybody was playing an indie TCG.
No,
So they only had 6?
no, God, it was not.
Oh.
I can
Lorcana.
Rudy's video must have been not super accurate then.
Don't get me started. But I think there's a lot more going on. And now, I mean, George, let's offset everything, all the FUD that you just put out there about this box. Let's offset that a bit. Let's say when these people go, they actually have the opportunity to pull cool stuff for their commander decks. They have the chance to pull
commander cards in it.
Yeah, that's a great. I'm with you, Josh. I'm with you.
I mean, I know what you're saying.
Yes, there are. When these special guests continue to include things like Merfolk Lords and Mana Crypt, which is what the special guests are for the upcoming set. Tell me that those are not commander cards. Those aren't commander cards.
There could also be good commander cards in the regular set too.
They're also, we've talked about this. That's how they're reprinting commander cards.
God, maybe we all are cranky.
We're all cranky. It's cool. I love it.
Listen, if you guys don't want to talk about the actual topic, that's fine. I don't mind.
Jesus. Have a steel reserve. You need that extra ABV, buddy.
I agree with you, Josh. I'm on your side on this. I think another statement is that I think that this release will be super popular because people want to see how people love the idea.
The first box people will be packed to see how it plays. No question.
All right, let's get into pricing because I think a lot of this conversation comes into pricing. So I did some homework. Did you guys do your homework?
You just multiplied 36 times 4?
I did some homework resolving around distro pricing. I'm not going to give you the exact pricing because I don't want to lose my job. But draft box is currently a pack is somewhere between $2 and $2. We'll go somewhere between $2.35 and $2.55. A set box.
That's true.
It's actually not. Sorry
for Louis.
Somewhere around $2.50. Set boxes are somewhere around per pack around $3.50, $3.25, $3.50. So the way that they are stating this for play boxes is that they will be closer to the price of a set booster pack.
Now, they didn't say it's going to match the price. They said closer.
I thought
they said it's going to be.
They said they expect it to match the price of a set booster pack because there's no MSRP, so they're not going to say that it's going to because every
yeah.
Now, what they also said though is that they're going to 36 pack boxes in this to match the draft box. So if you increase the price of the box, it means that the price of a box is going to be closer to like 20% more than your current set box.
It's like 17 to 20% price increase, I think, across the board.
Yeah. So if a store wants to make around 20%, which is already low margins, but if a store wants to make around 20%, boxes will need to be between $140 and $150, around that kind of threshold. We did a lot of internal conversation. I really wish that they would have gone to 24 pack boxes on this. Frankly, we've seen a lot of other TCGs come out, like Lorcana is a 24 pack box.
Goat.
We've seen a lot of that happen because it keeps the cost of entry down. If you are somebody who's going into an LGS to open a box, you now have to spend more money. You do get more packs though. Like that's an important thing to discuss. So George, I'll let you take this away because I know this is your biggest issue.
No, I mean, like, listen, I think, like, $150 box. No, everybody's gonna say it keeps. We're behind the pace of inflation, and I think that's true. But I think with like some economic headwinds, is now the time to increase the price of a draft significantly. Is now the time to increase the cost of the player's box significantly. I tend to think the answer to that is no. I'm anxious about this. I'm alone, and I know that. But I think $150 box, that just feels expensive to me. That feels pricey. I also think you're going to have a problem of a collector box is what, $250, $230?
No, nobody's selling collector boxes at $250.
$200?
$225, I say.
You're a lot closer now.
That's fair.
So at the end of the day, I know what's TCG play for the last collector box?
I think it's a little above 200.
Yeah, for $50 more bucks, I can get a collector box.
Yeah, but you're getting a third of the packs.
Yeah, but I'm getting probably 5 times the value.
No, you're not. Not compared to
Wilds of Eldraine EV breaks out to set boxes like 160 to 170, and collector box sits right around 200.
You think the EV of a Wilds of, I guess maybe with that enchanting things? That's crazy.
Yep.
I should be opening those.
No, you're already cranky enough. We don't need Louis Mass box opening, Josh without his steel reserve, and me cowering in the corner.
I think, George, I think you have a not accurate idea of what you pull when you get a collector box. There's 0 foil multiplier in Magic the Gathering now. Like
The foil multiplier is dead, but the collector box has been where anything that's worth almost any value does reside.
Yeah, but like, so I know a guy who opened up a master case of Doctor Who collector boxes. He pulled 1 serialized card in a master case of 24 collector boxes. So like that.
Well, that is a big subset. That is a whole master case.
What do you mean?
Like it's just a drop in the bucket, just to show that they are rare. These hits that are coming that make the box feel super valuable are extremely hard to come by.
So you can't really even include it. Like if you're including in your EV calculation, you're doing a gambling. You're gambling there, right? So
what is that? Is that a gotcha machine? Is that what that is?
Yeah. It's like trying to pull the 1-on-1 ring, right? The one.
So I was all down for that. Why didn't we pull our money together and do that? By the way,
you had it all.
The whole print run, just buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Lord of the Rings.
So my point is that, like, if you compare it to set boxes, like you're spending more money and you're actually realistically getting, in a lot of cases, the same amount of value that you would get from a set box. So
you think the EV for a collector box is the same as a set box?
I think it's closer than it is the difference between prices. I think you get a better value if you buy a set box.
The difference is
the return on your investment percentage wise will be higher if you buy a set box. I think the same will be true for the play box, because there's no foil multiplier because they print too many collector boxes. Now that changes if they hone in the amount of print run on a collector box, which is I think what we all think they should do. Like they should hone in the number of collector boxes they print, and all of a sudden your foil multiplier goes up and your foils are actually worth more. I mean, look at Surge foils from Doctor Who. They basically just made them the same pull rate as regular foils. So now you have like this weird world where this special foiling is the same. It's just nothing. It's not special. It's like the same.
There was a minute there where the uncommon, because there were so many rare and mythic slots, that the uncommon foils were worth more because there was only like 2 or 3 slots in each collector pack versus the 6 for the other one. So like the uncommons were harder to pull, so they were rare.
I don't think it was a moment. I think is that not still the case?
Is it? I haven't looked in the last couple of days. I assumed it would fix itself.
No, because your point's 100% true. There's not enough slots there. There's not enough There's not enough uncommon cards. And if you compare it to the decks, they're the same number of cards printed in every deck. There's not a difference in the rarity structure. So I think that the question isn't why wouldn't you buy a collector box? Because I think honestly, it depends on what you are. If you're a person who is hunting for this like serialized card and that's your game, is to like get stupid expensive cards or whatever, then you're going to go for the collector box. But if you're looking for value and playable cards, you're going with the play box. So I think the question is not comparing it to the collector box. I think it's comparing it to what does somebody have to spend on a hobby. I think that's the bigger issue.
I mean, like draft just got way more expensive.
Yep. That's my big issue with this whole thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like draft just got way more expensive. Like I think there's 2 things. I don't think this is I think this is a. When I'm saying this, I'm saying I think people are undercalculating the risk involved in this change. That's kind of been my whole fear on this the last, since it's been announced. I think people are thinking, oh, it's going to be a home run. I'm not so sure why. A box has been $100 more or less for years now, for decades. Now it's not. There won't be $100 Magic box anymore.
I mean, but like we're kind of already there. Like distro price for a Magic box is basically $100.
Yeah, I'm looking at now you're at 110, 120. Now you're at 150.
Yeah, but we were up in arms that they had these draft boxes left over that were so unpopular. They were selling them to us on Amazon for $70.
So the cost for a store to run a draft per person.
Yep.
The cost for a store increased by $2.26. That's the amount of money that increase. If you're a store that's doing we don't do packs for prize support. We do store credit for prize support.
Really?
And for every person, it's $5 in store credit. So if there's 10 people, the draft gets $50 for store credit. So for us, the cost of draft just increased by $2.26.
What about if you do pack wins for 8 people?
Well, if you do pack wins, then it increases significantly more, right? Because it's essentially I don't know.
I don't know. Is that normal? I think we always do pack wins.
Most stores I've been to have do pack wins. They don't do store credit.
This is how
Store credit feels versatile. Store credit's cool. It feels versatile.
Yeah, people use it to buy singles. Then people use it to buy people use it to buy One Piece packs all the time. Like they use it to buy different. They go into different games.
All right, let's do it, baby. I'm in. Next one. I'm in. Best box opening experience. Best box opening experience. Let's do it.
They do Pokemon and One Piece as much as they do.
That's all they buy. That's all the store buys. They come to Magic and they're like, I gotta win the Magic tournament. I gotta get me them One Piece packs.
Here's the real question: the one person who buys one pack a week from your store, are they going to be upset
They're
about
so
this
mad.
change?
They're so mad about
God, Josh, that was my very first thought when I read this. Of like, well, that guy just stopped buying packs now. Will that pack per set guy just never come back to Lewis?
He's probably one.
Doesn't he buy set packs or does he buy draft packs?
Only draft. One draft pack per set.
Yeah, he's got a binder full of draft packs. He's got like actual Ultra Pro binders that are made for packs. It's crazy.
That's kind of cool.
He's probably one of those guys that think that draft boxes now are worth more money and that he should be investing in it because they changed it. And it's the last draft box ever.
Set boxes are okay. We're down in a minute. I got some takes. Some takes.
Hold on. I want to go to the inflation thing though, because I think that is a valid statement. There's a guy on Reddit. Shout out to Reddit. I'm sure you don't like that.
God,
but
we are scraping the barrel tonight, boys.
Ted Wolf, who did the math
to
for us,
8chan.
did the math for us, and we're just gonna blindly trust him. But he started playing back in Alara, and MSRP was $4. MSRP of a box was $140, and you could often get boxes for $80 or at stores for $100. Adjusted for 2023 prices, MSRP would be with inflation. MSRP would have been $213, and an $80 deal would be $122. So, like, I think that this is the most valid argument for the price increase, is because it does coincide with inflation. Now, granted, we have had a terrible inflation rate in the last 2 years, so like it's a little bit miscalculated, I think. But I don't know.
Okay, so there's two things. So first, I that math passes my smell test. But like, there's two arguments that I would say counter to that. First is like, with all this inflation, are people really going to be like, oh, I know, I'll go out and spend more money on a more expensive hobby now? Eggs are $45. My steak I eat 3 times a day, like Louis, is now $50 a person.
Eggs are free now because we have 2 friends that have chickens now. This is like a big thing that's happening.
And you don't pay them for the eggs?
No, they don't know he's taking the eggs, Josh. You know how he just sneaks over.
Listen to this. I don't know if this is ever, but West Virginia, you can get chickens, and if you make I think it's $1,000 a year or something like that, then your residence is now a farm. So like everybody all of a sudden is getting chickens and chicken coops. We have 2 friends who are just like, guys, the chickens won't stop. They will every day. And so they just bring us eggs. We like our fridge is overflowing with eggs. You open the door and eggs just pour out. It's a mess.
I make my daughter an egg every morning, so we buy the 5 dozen at Costco. It's insane.
Yeah, you need a chicken.
I'm not going to get a chicken. I live in society, so I
don't know if this is West Virginia only. Everybody has chickens in their house. Yes, yeah. Louis, that is West Virginia only.
George has been to my house. It's not a very chicken-conducive neighborhood.
No, he lives in a real neighborhood.
The eggs are so much better than store eggs.
Oh my God.
It's unbelievable how much better they are.
Okay, so like, the question is like, with all this inflation, are people going to be willing to spend more money on their hobby?
Yes. Dude, look at we said the same. We've said the same thing about Magic every time. The only time where it hasn't been true is Commander Masters. Are those $500 yet, George?
Close.
Yeah.
Every day closer, baby.
Like
They're not.
Lord of the Rings. We said who's going to spend $400 on a collector box?
I did not say that.
Like,
I did not say that.
No.
One person said that.
No.
One person said that.
No. And now everyone's like, oh, Final Fantasy could be the next one. I was on the train from the start. I want to point that out.
Everybody thought that was going to be a home run except for one person.
I think that people have an amount of money that they spend on hobbies, and they often go over that by 20 to 50%, and that they will just. They do. Dude, God. You guys live in a realistic world if you think people stick to their budgets on hobbies.
No, but
Magic cards. Like
you said most people go over them by 20 to 50%.
50%.
100%. 20 to 50%. There's no shot that the average consumer stays within their proposed budget of their life. That's ridiculous.
Those are two very different statements. Stays within the proposed budget of their life and spends 20 to 50% more on their trading card games every month.
Which are now like 30% more expensive, 20% more expensive.
So
17 to 20%.
In my opinion, this doesn't affect as many people as George thinks it does, because
it affects everybody. The question is does it impact them? It affects everybody.
I think the average consumer buys packs. Like the average. Yes.
They buy boxes.
More people buy packs than buy boxes.
Yeah, 100%.
I maybe agree with that, but there's more boxes sold than packs, like in terms of like dollars.
There's more packs. We had this conversation. What he's trying to say is there's more packs sold in sealed boxes than loose packs sold.
Dollar spent. It's the 80-20 rule. Like,
I love how you say that, and it has nothing to do with the conversation.
But 80% of the Magic consumers still buy Magic product. They just spend 20% of the money because they're just buying packs. They don't have $150 to spend every week.
I don't think
on
that's
Magic.
true. Like, I think most people buy on Amazon now.
No,
Amazon doesn't sell packs.
That's not true.
Like I think a lot of people buy on Amazon, Walmart, Target.
Walmart, yes, but guess what? Walmart sells.
Amazon, absolutely not. When what was it? Ravnica? Is it Ravnica Remastered? Is the next remastered set? When that went live, the posted Amazon number for total boxes sold was like 234. If that went live for 10 minutes on TCG Player, that number is way more than 234.
I think that the average consumer probably spends, I don't know, not including the tournament that they're at, they maybe spend $10 to $25 on packs and they walk out the door in a week. Like people aren't coming in and buying boxes every single week of Magic product. They buy a couple packs. They buy singles.
So it is an interesting point that we have seen historically, at least this in the last year and a half, last 2 years, the sets that have done better across the board and been more well received are the ones that have a price entry point that we as a community deem acceptable, that varies from set to set and what's in the box, right?
Who deems it?
Just everyone, all of us.
The community or the enthusiasts? Which one?
The community.
So
when we have a product...
Jockey's going to leap through the screen and murder you tonight. And I want you to know, Louis, you deserve it for Lorcana. I just want to make that crystal clear.
I agree with you, Josh.
You deserve it for Lorcana.
I agree. Like the lower the cost of entry, the more widely accepted it is.
It's not just the lower cost of entry. I mean, we've seen, Jumpstart's a cheap cost of entry, right? Adventures of Forgotten Realms, you can get in for $60 right now. People still aren't buying it, right?
But Jumpstart 2022 was a huge success.
For like a minute? Yeah,
I mean, it was a pretty popular set. People liked it.
Yeah, sure. What does that have? What?
I'm just saying.
I agree.
We are not with it tonight. This is the struggle. I have the episode title. May the Zuby with you rides the struggle bus.
Your point is that. I agree.
My point that I didn't get to make. What was it? What was my point that I made? I'm saying we see sets that have a responsible point of entry that we accept do better. That is something that's leaving now. That's something we don't have with this box anymore until it really comes down and starts to hurt stores. And you could tell me a world where that's what happened. The reason I'm not concerned about this from my side of the table, someone who doesn't own stores, is guess what? We've shown this before. When Wizards increases the price and they increase the price to you guys, that price increase doesn't fully fall on us. We'll see a small increase, but if it's not popular, people who still want it will get it cheaper because it won't sell, and game stores will dump it, and they'll have because they got to get some of that cash back, and it just hurts the model. It doesn't hurt the end person. It doesn't hurt me.
Okay, let me ask you a clarifying question on that statement. You think that the average consumer who spends $125 on a set box, you think that they won't spend $145 on a set box? You think that $20, if you're already spending $120, that $20 is going to stop you from buying that box with the addition that you're getting 6 extra packs?
Well, if I have to speculate, I don't think we'll have to.
I mean,
and if we do have to, if like let's say it comes out, it holds at 145. Well, that means that not only are people buying it, but it's clearly a decent box that people are happy to own, and we're feeling that. And so yes, then we're happy that $20 is easy for us to spend. But in the world where
I'm not saying that it's going to hold at 145. I'm saying that there's a $20 difference. Whether you're buying a box at $100 and now it will be $120, because the percentage that stores are willing to lose will remain the same, in my opinion. Like if a box costs stores $120, they might be willing to put it on TCG Player for $115, but they're not going to lower it to the current price that's $95 to $100. So if you were
what's the current price of a draft box, right? Current price of a set box is still $112 to $120, right?
I don't know what the current price of a draft box on TCG Player is.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's $92, $93 for Wilds of Eldraine.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess.
Sure.
But let's say you as a consumer spend whatever box you end up buying. Let's go with your price, $100. You think that you wouldn't buy? Let's say you buy a case of boxes at $100. You're not going to spend $20 per box more to keep buying the boxes?
Well, again, it's in that world, yes, but it's more than just that. It's an evolution of the idea that we're spending money on things that are important to us now, right? It's the evolution of the idea some things aren't for us, and it's what I said at the beginning. From our side of the table, it's going to be about the product. When it's a product that doesn't hit, that I don't enjoy, that $20, if I'm committed to buying that case every single set, I'm like, oh, it sucks to spend this extra $20. If it's a product I really enjoy, if it's another Phyrexia, if it's another Brothers War, I'm like, boom, I'm all in. That's really fun. I'm happy to spend that extra $20 and get the extra value. It's going to be all about the set design now.
So can I ask you this question, Josh? Like, I largely agree with you. I think what this will mean is that good sets, this won't affect good sets, but my fear is that this will affect sets on the bubble. Sets that we
thought you cut out. It'll set what? Sorry.
Sets that are on the bubble. Sets that we think are okay to good, but not great. I think now there's an extra incentive for the consumer to be like, you know what, screw it. I'll sit this one out, or I'll just draft it and not buy a box. I think it makes it more likely for a set that's okay, but not good, okay to good, but not excellent. Consumers will sit it out. That's my fear.
And you could tell me a story where that happens and that fear comes to fruition, but we see like Wilds of Eldraine, and it's dangerous to say this into a microphone because there's a lot of stands, but Wilds of Eldraine ended up being a set it's just okay, right? The core set, the main cards in the set are pretty much just okay, but that special guest slot, and imagine if that thing had a list slot in it. That's the reason people sometimes still go back and be like, you know what? I'm still spending right now $120 on a set box. Right, for Wilds of Eldraine. I'm still doing that. Why? Because it's got some stuff in there that's super interesting. It keeps pulling me back. So this box, you're right, George. You're right. For those middling sets, it's going to be tough to pull me in, but there's a lot of opportunity committing to the smaller curated list, committing to the special guest to give me just another reason to want to buy that box.
Yeah.
The list is the most interesting change to me.
I hear what you're saying, Dish. I hear what you're saying. I just don't. I guess from my perspective, when I see people spend money in store, they are not as concerned with a price as much as they are. I want this box. I want to splurge and do I want to buy my first Magic box, or I want to reward myself for doing good on this college test, or I want to reward myself for having a really hard week at work. And so they buy a box. It's not It's not a idea of I'm going to spend this specific amount of money and now I can't because it's $20 more. I don't think that this affects the average consumer. It might affect somebody who is like, frankly, it might affect like a mass. Like, I don't even think it affects a mass box opening because they're getting the same number of packs. Like,
So
I don't know.
just an interesting way to put it is you're right. It's going to price out people who had $120 in their pocket but don't have $150 in their pocket. And there will be people that either they don't have it or they don't see the increase in value, so they don't spend it, right? But theoretically, if this product goes well and there's one product for everybody in that group, whether you used to buy a draft box and draft all the time, whether you used to buy set boxes and crack packs, those communities are kind of now smashed together, right? Mm-hmm. If any of that hype and excitement and the ability to kind of bring us together around one thing excites anybody, you also have people from the outside that were like, I don't like this, I'm done, I'm not doing that are kind of being pulled back in now. Because for every person that's falling off and not willing to spend that extra $30, there's a person that had that $30, wasn't spending it. It's like, maybe I will now. This is a new product. It's exciting. I have a multitude of purposes for this box. It can sit on my shelf, play with my friends, a bunch of different things.
I don't think my fear is the first box. My fear is not the first set.
Oh no, it's
like the first set. The first set with the first box is going to do astoundingly well.
No, it's a year from now, right?
Yeah. I mean, like set boxes lasted 3 total years. I think, not even.
But like, if it's a year from now and we're indoctrinated into the process, and it'll be all about if it's a good set.
And George, I don't think that's the way things are going. Like, I think the real statement is that draft boxes lasted 30 years and now they're gone. This is a set box. This is the almost identical thing to what a set box is. The only real change from this in a set box is that you don't have a art card in every pack, and you have 2 additional cards, and the box price goes up because there's more.
I don't think that's
and it's draftable.
That's the big thing. I believe it's more curated to be a draft.
Louis, the whole internet's on your side, but I actually see this the same way George does. This is a new draft box.
How is this like? What do you remove? Tell me what you are missing from a set box in this play box.
I'm looking at it from the opposite direction. It's not what you're missing. It's the draft box did one thing. And this aims to do that thing.
I'm responding to George's statement that the set box only lasted 2 years. That's what I'm responding to. I'm not arguing you about draft. I'm responding to George's statement that the set box only lasted 2 years. The set box just changed names to now it's a play booster box, and it's a set box that can now be draftable. Like the idea of what a set box is didn't change. The same thing is true. You're opening the same number of rares and mythics. It's for the person who likes a set box. The only thing that changed is that your box cost is now more expensive, and it's the same cost per pack. That's my point.
It's a reduced rare and mythic pull slightly from an existing set box.
Is that accurate?
I believe so, yes.
If not, I'm willing to speculate about it.
So this is what they said.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's slightly reduced. And maybe it makes up for it because you get the 6 more packs. But on a per pack basis, it's a slightly reduced. But in the same vein, while you're looking that up, couldn't you have the same conversation about the draft box? You're saying the set box isn't dead. Sorry, go ahead.
So you get -1 non-foil wild card. So that is true.
So you said that the set box isn't going away, it's changing to a different name. Couldn't you make the same argument that the draft box isn't going away, it's just changing to a different name? Like, they're making changes to both of these boxes.
Yeah, it's
one slightly more drastically than the
difference. The difference with your statement right there is that the draft boxes just got way more expensive. That price point is no longer there. The price point of this box is just for play. It's the basic version of everything. It's no longer there. Like that's not the draft box in that sense did go away. That there's no super cheap $100 booster box in order to pick up and play. The set box, like per pack.
In fairness, Louis, according to inflation, boxes should be $230.
But per pack, the price for set boxes didn't change. Now, it's weird. The difference in set boxes is +2 playable cards, no connected commons or uncommons, -1 non-foil wild card, which is the biggest thing. But the
way I view the box,
the list slot being curated, I don't know the percentage on the 300 cards that were rare or mythic.
Right.
To me, this reads that the list slot potentially makes up for that -1 wild card, but that's not really what they say. So,
well, they give you the breakdown. It's up to 4 rares, and there were certain set packs that were more than that with hitting on the foil.
The way I viewed the new box was as a draft box with extra goodies. Like that's the way I view, because it's still made for draft. Like if not, I have a much bigger problem with it. Like it's still curated for draft, meant to be a draft experience, but they added extra value through,
yeah, that's not the way I see it. I see it as a set box that's now draftable. I guess that's the big difference.
That is a big difference.
So, comment section, let us know what you think it is.
And QQ and beep beep for the struggle bus.
All right. Anything else to say before we move to Doctor Who?
Yeah, one thing. Remix to Ignition may be the best song ever.
I don't know what that is.
That's a weird pick. It's a weird pick for best song ever.
That's like mixing hot, fresh out of the kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got me.
Beep beep.
Yeah, that's great. All right, Doctor Who, Universes Beyond.
Oh no, we got to move on.
Why?
It's 9:40. All right, let's go for it.
When has that ever started? We have like literally nothing else to talk about in this podcast.
Okay, fine. Let's do it.
You want to read your one Lorcana card in a monotone voice?
Yeah.
I'm in.
We can call it a day.
We made up a Lorcana topic. We made up a sorcery topic, and there's nothing else to talk about.
Welcome to May the Zoomy with you. I got to drop off a bag at one of my friends' houses. I'm very worried they're going to shoot me.
Is it drugs?
No, it's a baby gift. It's a baby thing.
Is it? If it's not a Bucky's coloring book, I'm very salty.
Yeah, what did you buy as a baby gift?
All right, I'm glad you both are sitting down for this. I did not buy it.
Oh.
That Bucky's
only
book,
buy
by the way,
Bucky coloring books for kids.
It calmed her. She was screaming at the door. It was on the banister. I gave it to her. She was like, "Oh, what's this?" I was like, "This is great."
Bucky's is the best
#1
babysitter. I would love the
Bucky's
Bucky's
#1
for anybody.
I did. I put her on the landing, just on top of the stairs with the coloring book, and I just left. I was like, "Yeah."
Did you explain to her this came from her godfather?
No.
Josh,
no. This came from a man that you will hopefully never meet.
How much money would I have to give you to let George babysit your kid?
No, that's the wrong question. How much money would you have to give George to babysit your
What's
kid?
the price of which you would trust your child with George?
God, I've seen how he nurtures a company. I can't imagine a child is much better.
I had my best friend in law school got the preggers, and I had to babysit. And it was like totally horrifying.
What did you just say?
Got the preggers.
George doesn't know how that works yet. Okay.
Oh my God! All right, we got to move on.
A stork comes
9:40. There we go.
Baby.
Doctor Who. Doctor Who.
It's the remix to Ignition. Oh no, we're gonna get demonetized.
Yeah, that was so similar to the sound. Doctor Who Universes Beyond. More of a success still this week. Does it surprise you guys that it hasn't really tanked?
No. Much like Lord of the Rings, only one of us said it would.
I thought both of you guys were worried about the Doctor Who set.
No, I mean, I didn't think it was I didn't think it was going to pop off, and it hasn't popped off.
No, but I was pretty convinced it would do just fine because I think Doctor Who goes bigger than I think all of us think about.
People love collector boxes.
That's not really that true with the Doctor Who.
People in West Virginia, not big collector box fans for Doctor Who.
Only
people on the rest of the internet
love chickens and meth.
Josh, do you think Liz are doing good?
They seem to be doing fine. They're not doing any better or worse than anything else.
TCGs players at 219.
Yeah, they're middling boxes, man. They're right in the middle.
219.
It's just just a standard set. We've reached a time where people I'm sure are unloading them.
Oh, it's 225 now.
Don't worry, Phantom Mitch, sponsor of the podcast, always here to be the lowest price on TCG Player whenever we go to it.
That's true.
Every time. Phantom Mitch. Who is that? That dude has every game. Every single game.
Didn't he used to be on this podcast?
He's got to watch the podcast. He's got cryptic boxes. Like he's got
definitely just like wasn't he the first version of me?
I hope it is that Mitch. I hope it is that Mitch.
Mitch, you're backstabbing us.
God, can you imagine if it was a Mick and he was like, I know how to get back to those rascally rabbits?
Listen, Mitch, I don't have a dog in this fight, so
All right.
you do you, boo boo.
Can I tell you the biggest problem I see right now with Doctor Who?
There's a problem. Yeah, go ahead. What's your biggest problem?
Between you and George, do you guys like Magic this week?
Timey-wimey is $95.
What the hell's timey-wimey?
That's the number one deck selling.
Yeah, but how much is the deck set?
The next one is $59, and then it drops to like 45 and 42, 47 and 42.
You know what that
That's a
represents?
bigger split than typical.
You know what that represents?
What?
A wide variety of entry points.
Oh, wow. You and Louie are the
Spin it,
spin
baby.
masters.
Spin it. Spin it.
It's a great player set.
So I think this is largely good for the enthusiast of Doctor Who or the enthusiast of Magic the Gathering. But I think it's really bad for stores. I can't
It's largely good that one of the boxes is $95.
well, like for like you're saying with the because like if you want that card, you're getting the value of the card, right? Like
Is it timey-wimey that's so expensive? Or is it
timey-wimey, yeah, it's got the white card that you guys said wasn't as good as Teferi's.
Can I give you a spoiler here? I have never once said
I
this
don't
card
want
is not as powerful as another card in Magic the Gathering on this podcast. Ever.
the problem as a store is like you have to order these as 4-ofs. So like as a
Holy smoke.
at
The
a
10th Doctor serial number is $10,000.
you obviously don't watch Rudy's videos.
Where's Posty? Posty needs to buy this out.
I think for a store this is like super awkward because you're like, oh, okay, I want to restock because I don't have any timey-wimey decks, but I have so many of these other ones.
Does Distra still have more decks?
I got more too.
Wow. I gotta
Yeah.
dial.
It's kind of a weird, and they're getting another wave in. One distro didn't have their second wave in yet, but the other one did. So I think it's a little weird. This like the spread seems higher than normal on commander decks. And I think this is the last time the first time that really happened, they reprinted and included 2 of the deck that was expensive.
Is that true?
It was one of the early commander decks. Was that blue card, Josh?
Is it Fierce Guardianship?
No, it was way before then. It was man, what was that card?
Force of Will. Doubling season.
I remember.
Manic Rift.
Doubling Season's Creek. Anyway, they when they did the second print, they did double of that commander deck and it tanked the price.
I've never seen them do that before.
That's the only time they've ever done it. It was probably before you were a store too.
I can't imagine they do that. I cannot imagine they do that.
No.
No, they won't do that. No, I'm not
okay,
saying they would do that. No, they would. I mean, but anyway, they probably just put it in a secret layer. That's all I was thinking.
Josh being super sensitive tonight, and it's like this is my new favorite Josh.
Anyway,
Do you guys like Magic? Like, if you
I don't like a new box. Kill me. I'm allowed to say I don't like a new box.
And Josh,
I didn't say that. I said I'm anxious about it.
the Cyberman Patrol is still the most expensive card, Josh.
That's not
Is
true
it?
at
The
all.
Surge Foil.
That's not true at all. I'm looking at a $10,000 card right now.
You're right. Sorry, I missed the 10th Doctor Showcase foil. It's the second most expensive that's not serialized.
And,
Why is that one card so expensive?
And it's an uncommon. It's the uncommon.
Yeah. Yeah. That uncommon distribution is wild. I did not think of that, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah. The TARDIS is the 3rd most expensive card, and that is also a uncommon.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Was that on your bingo card for this set? We've talked about the fact that it was going to be weird with all of the cards, being in lists that you could just go and buy. You can buy this subset of cards off the shelf in a box, right?
Oh,
yeah.
So that's crazy.
It's only the case of the Surge foils, but
Are
Yeah,
Surge
no,
foils
I
only in collector
understand.
boxes?
yeah, but there's like the same. There's I think either 3 or 4 Surge foil cards in every pack.
I do not like some of this art.
Yeah, I agree.
It feels very on theme for Doctor Who. Like they did a good job at that. Yeah.
Are you a Doctor Who fan, Josh?
No. I looked into a bunch of Doctor Who and tried to watch a couple episodes with the release of the set, and I was like, you know what? I'm just accepting that it's not for me. I took the cocktail party advice to heart. I decided it wasn't for me and stopped watching Doctor Who. Still followed the Magic set, stopped watching the show.
Yeah, we didn't even do a 4-player thing for this one. I honestly couldn't get anybody excited to do it and to sit down and play the decks.
I don't like
this
art.
It was weird. Once everybody started playing, they all picked up decks. They saw the mechanics, and I think this is the best part of the Universes Beyond, is that they're creating these really unique mechanics, and that it's tying all these Magic people who are didn't want anything to do with Doctor Who. Now they're like, yeah, but the mechanics are super fun and still fun to play. So that's a win.
Yeah, but now you have the 10th Doctor in your Commander game. How mad does that make you?
I mean, yeah, I get it.
Worse. It's the worst, dude.
I don't. It made me very mad, and I've just kind of gotten over it. It's exciting to see. Like I said I did a video this week. I had a lot of people walk in. I had a lot of people walk into the store who hadn't played in store before, and they were like kitchen table Magic people. I know it's crazy to think, but people play trading card games at home. They don't always play in a store. I know.
Wait, hold on. But your claim is this week there was just a herd of them that happened to wander in?
Yeah. Huh. One of my customers said it to me. Because I'm not always at the store. He was like, hey, did you notice that the Doctor Who decks have brought in a bunch of people who have never been here?
Normies.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think those people just go to another game store, because I can't imagine they actually go to their kitchen table and play Magic. I've never heard of anybody playing trading card games with their friends at the table.
Yeah,
I just haven't.
There's people who think that. That's by far the number one place people play Commander, by the way.
Can you imagine putting that person in charge of a game who doesn't understand that tabletop, that TCGs get played at home more than the store?
Commander,
Commander, that'd be crazy.
Commander is by far played more at home at people's
by a mile. It's not even close.
In stores.
Even most trading card games. When I was grinding the pro scene for a trading card game, me and my buddy were playing dozens of games all week. It was crazy. Just my kitchen table was stacked with cards. My wife was furious.
Yeah,
she was not happy.
Anyway, seems good. It'll be interesting to see how this holds up when the second wave gets in. But I don't know. That's all I got. All right, let's go to the made-up topic. I got Pikachu promo cards. Just wanted to share.
I got one too.
And you didn't.
I am the worst person. I have 45 PayPal transactions.
You are the worst person. You are the worst person.
I have 45 PayPal transactions, and I got four Pokemon.
You don't deserve those 4. I hope they send you a bag of dog doo-doo instead of your promo. I would have had
confirmation that I got them. Rather, I just had to keep going. Because I never got the Pokemon confirmation.
You are full of bull.
No,
everybody knows it. Everybody knows you did not make 45 orders.
Yeah.
Oh, did he confirm? I got to make my 44th order.
I did it while my kid was going to sleep. I have to hold my arm on her back to get her to cuddle. I'm on my phone just confirming.
Yeah. 45. All right, so let's talk about the Van Gogh promo.
4 Pikachu Van Gogh promos.
Right, so they said no more at the Van Gogh Museum.
Yeah. Rumor is that they're done.
That's not at all the rumor, because that's not. They said the exact opposite. They said they'll be at stores in the Netherlands later this year.
Did they?
Yep. How do you? This is your game. This is your game.
And your topic that you shoehorned into the podcast.
You should do your research.
I don't think that's true.
Well, you're wrong. That's easy.
I'm wrong.
They also said they're going to have them intermittently for the next 2 weeks at the Pokemon
Center. That originally, but then they something else happened. I don't know. I don't remember.
They sold out, but they said that we're going to bring them back in stock. They'll be intermittent for the next 2 weeks.
I'm going to go get more. I love this
45,
promo, dude.
45 more orders.
I love this promo.
How much is the promo on the secondary market?
No clue. Don't care.
Don't care. So that's my question. All right, you ready for the hottest? You ready for the maybe hottest, maybe coldest take?
Yeah.
This is the buy.
Buying these on
this is absolutely the play.
Josh, I think they're $50, $50 to $60. I have zero desire to like sell the promo. I just want to grade some.
And the grades have been rough on them.
Yeah, they're like going heavy towards 8.
I might send it to PCG, see what they give me.
Give me that 10, Rudy.
Come on, Rudy. Make a little top hat on that sucker. There's a bolo hat. It's a top. That's a bolo hat, right?
I don't know how to define a hat. Pikachu and go.
I don't know how to define a hat.
I don't know
Yours is backwards because it needs to keep the sun off your neck inside.
I love this card so much, dude.
It's a great card.
So cool.
It's the best thing Pokemon's done.
I would not buy it.
Really cool.
I would not buy it at any secondary market price.
Really?
No. Promo cards like that, like again, they can say that they're not going to reprint them, and then they can just come out and reprint them. And
they have said they will reprint.
Okay,
this one.
I know, but my point is, like at any point, they can just put a
Hasn't stopped Lorcana, people.
I'm in. Go.
At any point, they
buy
can
all
put
the
a massive
Pikachus.
amount more out there. Like maybe you buy this card in 3 years when the price has like stabilized on it, but it's way too risky right now. Like it's way too risky.
I'm in on this card. I'm in on this card. I am in on this card.
Don't give financial advice, bud.
Oh, I'm not in on this card financially. Just like because I think
Don't get banned. I was talking to Louis.
Oh.
Don't get banned, bud.
I don't know.
This is not financial advice.
This is not financial advice. Is YouTube gonna ban me?
I have no idea.
That would make
Isn't that
my
what
life
everyone? You guys made me
so
do
much
that
more
when I first
simple.
started.
If YouTube banned me and then it was just like, oh, it's over, it'd be sad. But life would be more simple.
You'd be sad for like a week though, and like that would then it would be it. It'd be bliss. The addiction's over.
I want to know what to do with myself. Anyway, I like the card. I don't know.
It does.
Just wanted
It's
to
got.
show like,
Thanks.
I was trying way too hard to get those cards.
Out of your 45 orders, how many did you get?
You think you're trying to wait too hard in your
4.
45 orders?
4.
That's what it was.
I
Okay.
didn't get the confirmations for like 3 hours afterwards. It's crazy.
God, you are the worst.
Is that just when you checked your email? Did you check your email 3 hours after?
No, I checked it like every 5 seconds after that. I was
Like I've done that. Like I've been at work. I've seen the email come in and be like, "Oh, I just got this now." The next day.
All right, let's talk about Sorcery. We got beta coming out. There's been a lot of.
Was the whole topic that you got the Pikachu promo?
Yeah,
That's it. We had already
you
talked
do
about
not
the
listen to the
Pikachu promo.
rundown.
Yeah, we had
That
already
was
talked
the
about.
whole.
We had already talked about the Pikachu promo. You weren't here. We had more views.
And yet here we are
Yeah.
again.
We were finding we needed content. What is that? What is
It's done. It's vodka o'clock. It's vodka o'clock.
My
hell
wife
is that?
got me a water bottle at TJ Maxx. How funny is this thing? How
No,
great is
it's
it?
not funny. Do you go to the gym with that? Please tell me you go to the gym with that.
No, it's sitting here by my desk. You don't think this is funny? Why do you hate fun? Why do you hate fun? This is hilarious.
That
I
one,
think it's hilarious.
that wouldn't fit in the cup holder if it was the size of the seat next to you. That would drive me nuts.
Of course, it doesn't fit in the cup holder. This is clearly not a cup holder water bottle. Like, what are you talking about? Why do you
Louis
hate
never
all
buys
things
2
fun?
liters. They don't fit in cup holders.
Yeah, why do you hate fun?
I've been watching Better Call Saul, and there's a trope in Better Call Saul where he can't get the cup in the cup holder. So that's the only thing.
Have you- Have you finished Better Call Saul yet or no?
I have 2 episodes left.
Oh, hurry up.
Okay. Yeah. We got to get into that. So next week we're talking about the podcast. So whatever, like you're on the clock.
Yeah, it's better. I think it's better than Breaking Bad.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
I've watched Breaking Bad 3 times, and it's probably my
I have
favorite
watched
show.
Breaking Bad. The only show that I think I've probably watched more of is The Office. The problem is like The Office is like way more. Like
Yeah, Well, the problem with The Office is you can just put it on the background and you don't
all
have
the
to pay
time.
attention.
Bingo.
all the time.
Boom,
It's
hit
also
it.
always on. It's like Impractical Jokers. It's hilarious and always on TV.
Yeah,
Do you know what that was for a while? Not too long ago was How I Met Your Mother. Remember, like 8 years ago,
I've
that
never
show
seen it.
was on
Never seen it.
everywhere. That show, like there wasn't a network that wasn't playing episodes of that show.
yeah. The problem with The Office is that now that it's on Netflix, like I'm not going to whatever platform it is.
I
Peacock.
almost sucked it up
YouTube
and bought
TV.
Peacock.
It's on YouTube TV. You can just pull.
Yeah.
I don't watch advertisements, man.
Comedy Central plays it all the time.
Oh,
That's
like
true.
I'm not gonna sit there and wait for. Like I want to pick my episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
The
happy with
Office
that.
is so. No, The Office is so good. Just let it be delivered to you.
No.
Let
The
the
fact that
fates decide. Every episode's a good episode.
No, the fact that Netflix doesn't have a pick my episode for me though, that is a big L. They should have
Like
AI
random,
do it.
Like a
randomize
random?
my episode based on the Mercury and
Like what?
retrograde and stuff.
They should have AI do it.
Wow. Make a company, George.
I told you I built a chatbot the other day just because I wanted to see. I wanted to know.
All right, let's talk about Sorcery players. There's been a
I'm gonna
lot
slide
of
in your DMs later, Josh. You got a business idea.
everyone's getting excited for beta.
It doesn't
with-
chat for you, bud. Sorry.
Damn it! Nothing ever does.
Everyone's excited for beta with the beta coming out. The community has come out and said that beta is for the players, and there's been a lot of
That's not at all. God, why do you do this?
All right,
Why do you do this?
Bring it up. You go.
Versus your lies, your outright lies.
The community has said that.
The community has said that. I don't even know what that means. Is it you and Mike hanging out in the podcast room, be like,
Absolutely
"Hey,
not.
this is for the players"?
No, but like that's what people have talked about. What beta is?
Like it's the
I
only
think the
set
play
available. So
booster's
it's
also
also
for
for
the
the
players.
collectors, I guess.
What did you say, Josh?
The play booster is also for the players. I declared it. So
There you go. The
The
community,
community
has said that.
this.
All the enthusiasts are all in on.
Okay.
I
play
declared
booster.
it. I'm going to take my flag. And play.
The community has said this. What a wild statement.
Can we do a podcast or a segment of the podcast every week called "The Community Decided," where we just
Absolutely.
decree
Absolutely.
things about trading card games,
community has
and it's just,
decided.
and then the next episode we just exist the rest of our life as that is a truth. Like
Wasn't
we say,
players left
the
off
community
of the
decided
statement?
this, and that's just the truth. Because that would be awesome. I'd be down. How much fun
Wasn't
would
players
that be?
also left off of the statement?
Yeah, but like the statement was from the company.
company
They were
doesn't get to
left off the statement
decide.
from the
That's the
company.
point. The
So the
point
company
is
doesn't
to
know
set
what he-
up this
Simon doesn't know anything about
conversation.
its own game. Eric
So the
doesn't know
company
anything
has
about their
not
own
declared
game.
it.
Right, that was going to be the next statement out of my mouth before you ran yours.
The company has not declared it. The community has. Okay. All right. So, but despite
I mean, I
Louis'
thought it was good.
insanity,
I thought it was good. I was
that was
down.
wild.
I was down.
Wild.
Screw you, George. I was down.
George, when are you going
Okay.
on vacation again?
So maybe after this episode for a long time.
Here come the views, baby.
I
Give
like.
me extra
I
60
think people
seconds.
have lost their minds on sorcery. Like I got sent a clip this week from one content creator going another pseudo content creator's podcast, and he was like, "I hate sorcery, and like I hope it fails." That is stupid. That is stupid.
What?
I think
It
this
wasn't
is
you,
pretty,
Josh.
pretty gross exaggeration of what was stated, but the feeling was
enough.
there.
It's not that much of an exaggeration.
not content advice.
I
Not
thought.
like the financial advice.
I'll be honest. I thought Eric flew to America and kicked the guy's dog.
Yeah,
Like that's
There's
the only thing I could
There's
think
a
of.
lot of sorcery hit pieces going on right now, which
It is
tells me that sorcery's
wild.
doing great.
And it's and
Is
like,
there
there's two
really?
things I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, there is. It's wild. There's two things. First, the best thing sorcery has going for it are the hit pieces.
Well,
Yeah.
Like,
they
no,
have
that's
hit
true.
pieces
Yeah,
from,
no, it's-
from larger things, but sure.
I mean, like to me, it's like if you're like, people are viewing you as a threat. People are viewing you as like a thing that you need to be discussing.
I think the bigger thing is that people missed out and that they're frustrated that they missed out.
They need to grow up.
Yeah.
And this is
So-
coming from me.
Here's what I want to focus on though. One of the big arguments that they're making is that sorcery doesn't care about players.
But the
And-
community has said it does.
Well, here's what are you talking about?
What the community stated? This is for the players, baby. Get with the program.
I
Get in
think
touch with the
so.
community.
I taught another person how to play last night. We had 3 guys here playing. We had 2. It was cool. We had it was like it felt like in an LGS setting. It was in my basement, but we had a one-on-one game happening next to a one-on-one game, and we were playing we're doing videos for the beta decks that are going to come out in a couple of months. And they kept asking this question. Wait, these are just the beta precons? These are just the precons? These are just the precons? We didn't upgrade these. We didn't upgrade these at all. And because they've been comparing them to some other games that they've been playing, and then I told them the price on the decks, and they were all blown away. It's $40 for all 4 precons plus a booster pack. That's the MSRP. It's 1 pack.
1 pack.
Yeah, you get a
Comes
box.
in a set.
You get a
In the
box.
box, there's a pack in the box.
Yeah, it's just like the alpha one. You get
the alpha one.
a
Okay.
box like this. You
I
open it up.
misunderstood that.
It's
I
got
misunderstood this.
4 decks plus a booster pack. What?
Is your box empty?
This is actually the sample box. This isn't even an alpha. It's a sample box that I got when I got the sample things. Anyway, so
The community.
Decided.
My point is that I think that this is the best, lowest barrier to entry point of pretty much any TCG that I've seen for the value of what you get. So to put it in perspective, we're doing a beta release party on November 11th. Everybody should come if you're free. Come down to West Virginia and hang out. And everybody who comes...
Wait, will you be giving out eggs?
No eggs, but we will be giving out a beta, like as a store, because the cost is so cheap, I can run an event and give everybody a beta pre-constructed deck, and I don't even really have to think twice about it. Like, it's not even like...
You can also give them eggs.
I could give them eggs, but I need them to feed my kids. Eggs are expensive. Eggs are probably more expensive than the cost is for me to do a beta deck. Like, and I think like
Can we please start talking about the price of TCGs in terms of dozens of eggs?
I think all this negativity about sorcery is not for the players. All they care about is the collectors and investors, is like blatantly ignoring like one of the coolest products on the market for TCGs. It's essentially like a double dual decks. It's cheap. It comes with a pack, which is a win.
It's $40 gets you all 4 decks, right?
All 4 decks, yeah. And as a store, there's nothing preventing you from opening up those 4 decks and selling for $10 a piece or whatever.
And
like
we have been guaranteed each pack in that has a curio.
We have not.
Oh.
But I think I just think people
I'll declare it.
People get so gravitated on on prices and the market and whatever that they fail to do the research on a specific thing that's there you go, the research one, that on a specific thing that's a huge win for cost of entry for a new player. And as a store owner, I think this is a great cost to entry for sorcery. I think it's fantastic. So that's all I want to say. George.
So, George, you looked like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, you were about to try to interrupt me, so now you can let me.
No, I mean,
you can say your piece.
I just want the eggs.
If you don't send us eggs, Louis, what are we doing here?
So I think people have wildly overstated. Like, it sounds like some people think sorcery hates players.
Yeah,
and I think that's a wild take. There's also I would say there's very little evidence of this. My fears of sorcery have centered around, can one set a year make it work?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm pretty skeptical of that approach.
Yep.
The DLC model.
Right. But I there's nothing about them that makes me think they don't want players. They don't care about players. Anything, they hate content creators, and I also hate most content creators, and so we have that in common, I would say.
Ravensburger, you haven't responded to any of my emails. I wonder why.
Yeah. Okay, let's go over beta. I think that the decks are a really good starting point for players. I think they're incredibly well priced. I think it's a great product.
I can't believe you're saying this through a microphone. Was this not the general consensus?
No.
How are this really?
Nobody said
they were controversial.
No. The point is that they completely ignored the decks exist. They are bashing sorcery for not caring about the players and completely ignoring what is the number one entry point for almost every person who plays.
And they're bashing.
It just feels weird to have to defend this. It just feels
bashing. They're saying that's not for players for literally the dumbest reason I can think of, which is they were left off of a list of a press release. Yeah. And listen, I think they should have said it in the press release. I'm sure they will next time. I also think people need to chill out and it's gonna be fine. If you want to play sorcery, you can buy a box and 4 decks for $200 and call it a day and play the hell out of it.
Yeah. I
tend to think that a smaller set would be better for players. I've said this, but I think going from I think a smaller set is better for players to sorcery hates players is a pretty big leap that I'm not willing to make.
But it almost doesn't matter if you're not rewarding high level play or intensely competitive OP. the larger set, it impacts me because like, oh, now I can't have the card that I want. But we go back to like playing Commander, and I don't have revised duels for all of my Commander decks, and that's okay. Are the decks optimal? Absolutely not. But do people still get hundreds of hours of entertainment?
They're
Absolutely.
also about to be on TCG Player, where people can buy the singles they want. Like,
Oh, I'm excited for that.
like I think this is like, honestly, I think people are gonna like. So it's funny. I was watching this part of the podcast. And I was like, God, I hope I don't think that about Sorcery. And I was like, no, I don't think that about Sorcery, because like I think I've always said like my concerns I think are pretty simple, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope the game kills it.
Their main concern initially was we have no evidence that they're going to produce boxes.
Not accurate. I said that I absolutely have always said you will get your boxes.
No,
go back. You can go back.
it's fine. You can.
I tend to think that beta's going to be fine. Like I think people will play the game if they want to play the game. Boxes aren't crazily priced. You can easily find pre-orders right now for MSRP.
Yeah. Singles, like even alpha singles are. I mean, other than like the stone and maybe a couple of the cores, like alpha singles are pretty cheap in terms.
Yeah,
of,
I guess
like, they're like $5 to $10. Some uniques are 20, 25, but like it's not a stupid expensive.
We've reached peak craziness with Sorcery. It feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like we've reached peak craziness where like
really. Wait till beta comes out, buddy.
I don't think so. I think this is like I think when beta comes out.
I can't believe this. I'm still just taken aback here.
I think that one of the biggest things for Sorcery is that it's going to be more successful at home level than it is in a game store level, and I think people need to expect that and accept it. Like, will it be like I'm excited to play it in our store. We're gonna have a Sorcery night. Like, I think that's a huge win, but I think the average Sorcery consumer will treat Sorcery like a board game that they love, like a game that, like, I play Scythe, and I teach people how to play Scythe. Once a month, I probably teach somebody new how to play the game of Scythe. I love that game. I want people to play it. And like, whatever. I see Sorcery as a very similar thing where it's like, I could have a night where people come over. It's like a Commander night. And like, they could try to get them to end up buying their own decks, but they also, have decks available for people to play and hang out. And like, I think that that's a huge win for like the casual play side of Sorcery. I think is a huge win. It also, I think, has the ability, if a store really wants to lean into it, can do it. But Sorcery can be successful, in my opinion, at a non-store level.
Like, I'm very clear. Like, I like the game a lot because it's a board game.
Yeah.
Like, I like playing the game because it's a board game. I like board games way more than TCGs. Way more than TCGs. And and it's funny. Like, a friend of mine wrote a nasty piece about Sorcery, and I asked him, like, have you ever played the game? Well, I played it once on TTS. Well, that's not really playing the game. I don't think.
That's not the same.
And like, to me, I think Sorcery is a game that you have to experience on the tabletop.
Why write a scathing review of something if you've played it once?
I think that I will defend him. Me and him have the same disease. It's called passionitis, and you two are boring as hell, so you guys don't understand that. But we have passion in our lives and fervor. And also he's a good guy. He's nice.
I agree.
Relaxed.
I agree. We talked about it on the podcast. I didn't know that he'd only played the game once on TTS.
I want to be fair. I have made at this point more criticisms about MetaZoo than games of MetaZoo I've played. But I also think I've played more games than the average person who owns a MetaZoo card.
Not true, baby. I came in for my tournament. Yeah. So blue deck for the win. So I mean,
it's called water.
I call it blue. So I would say this: if you really think you're going to dislike Sorcery, I think you owe it to yourself to spend the $40 to go buy the 4 pre-con decks and play it.
I don't know.
If you play it and hate it, God bless. But listen, I think it's a good, fun game. I really do, and I've said this. I have said this since Mike taught me the game. I think it's a good, fun game, and I think it'll do fine because it is fun. Like, It's not.
Maybe it's
Like, and now there's like this weird criticism that the game takes too long. I did not feel that the games took too long.
We played. This was with one brand new person and two people who have played like 5 games total together. They're 2 brothers. They got to my house at 8 o'clock. They left at 10 o'clock. We both played 2 one-on-one games. So in 2 hours, 2 brand new, basically 3 people learning from me who sucks at all TCGs and is not a good communicator.
Facts.
Learned,
the community has spoken.
Played 2 games in 2 hours plus the front end of hanging out and talking. So like I don't think that's accurate. And also like the higher tier the decks are, the faster the game goes. Like if you're playing in a competitive event at an LGS where you can play with, you're not playing precons, it's way faster.
And to me, when somebody says a game takes too long, it means the game's not fun. Like, my favorite board game is Indonesia. That can be an 8-hour board game.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel too long to me. Like, I enjoy every minute of it.
Their point is that it's too long for this is my second side of this. Their point is that it's too long for in an LGS to host events. And my point is, A, I don't think that's accurate. But B, even if it is accurate, that doesn't mean that Sorcery can't be a successful trading card game. Like Magic the Gathering initially wasn't meant to be played in game stores. Game stores didn't exist. Magic the Gathering was meant to be played after D&D night or in between D&D sessions as something fun to do with your friend. And that's what made it so successful. Like,
I think people have kind of jumped the shark on this one. They left off the word player on a PR announcement. Like, it was a silly mistake, and like honestly, who the hell cares? Like when somebody called me to point this out to me, I was like, I like literally could not care less. It's like they act like it was a big gotcha. I'm like, you guys, like at the worst case scenario, somebody made a mistake.
Yeah. Louis, you hit the nail on the head. This is when the whole community is complaining about Sorcery, that means they're probably doing something right. Yeah, 100%. I think I stand it. And at the risk of being the person, you know what, I'm just going to burn it all down because I know nothing about this scenario previously. I have no idea who you're talking about. I have seen none of this content. So what I say can't defend anybody, right?
It's hilarious.
This seems... Before you do, I'm going to get my take out so I have the innocence to fall back on before I know who made the videos. This seems wildly lazy. With an indie TCG that's like coming out with so many unanswered questions that is breaking the model of how we view trading card games in 2023. And I'm not patting us on the back, but we have dove so deep into some of the nuance here. There is so much content to make about this game. To be like, it's not for the players.
Almost
they
like
hate
you don't have
players.
to go to Discord and beg for content creation ideas. Like that would be like a really sign of like a lazy content creator going to Discords and be like, "Hey, you guys, I need some ideas for Sorcery content."
What Sorcery content would you like to be made? Just asking my community.
Those are 2 are vastly different things, but I don't know. And again, I'm not trying to burn anybody. And I am not the world's greatest content creator. I make some crappy content. I will be the first to tell you. But this seems lazy. It's a weird complaint.
All right, I'm gonna give the hot take.
Isn't about players who can't play it yet and haven't played it.
I'm gonna give the hot take. It's because these games are scared of Sorcery. That's all this is. This is people who are defending.
Oh, hold on. We know it's not a Magic. We know it's not a Magic content creator.
No, it's not a Magic content creator.
Okay, I was about to say because I gotta tell you, Wizards of the Coast don't know these games exist, and that's not a shot at anyone, but they're not even aware.
Speaking of content, I want to shout out Too Fluent, who has a Sorcery lore. He's got 4 videos out already, and he goes through and like creates lore out of Sorcery because that's essentially what they like. Their stuff is like, there's no lore. Create your own story. Create your own stuff.
Is that true?
Yeah, there's no like characters.
If there's not a Lorcana crossover in some of this lore, we have all failed.
There's no like characters. The idea is when you're playing the game, you're creating your own story, and the realm is
and to give them as idea, what the opportunity there would be to play a game of Sorcery, and while the game is being played, voice it over with a story.
Yes.
About the game that's happening. If it's truly to build your, how kick-ass would that be?
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Be neat.
All right. Let's
That's
move
a
on.
content idea for you, Louis, in case
Thank you.
wrote it down.
That's not my type
I didn't
of
put it in
content.
your Discord. Is it
Yeah,
cool?
it doesn't count unless you.
Which one of the Discords of like he was begging for content ideas?
All right. You guys tell me all about Lorcana OP kit. Let's wrap up this podcast.
You literally changed the topic to this, so you're up it, guy.
Would you rather talk about that one specific card that you know?
I
you have no
love
clue how
the
it plays?
Merlin card, but I love the Winnie the Pooh card more.
Well, I only pulled up the Merlin card because you didn't tell me about the winning.
I did. It said it's the best card in any TCG ever.
I also lost the Merlin card because I was looking for the Pikachu stuff. So, good job, me.
Welcome to May. God, this is just like May this be with you. A train wreck. That's the title of the episode.
Right. So, Rise of the Floodborn OP kit details. So they made some changes to OP kits.
I thought we were doing Merlin.
No, I couldn't find the image.
Get with the program, George.
Why
Keep
do you
up,
like
buddy.
the Merlin card, George?
No,
I
go
know you
ahead.
don't want to
Go
talk
ahead.
about. You don't want to ever. You trash us for talking about cards in Magic. And
I
then
have
you
figured
want
out
to
what
talk about
happened.
single cards.
I have figured out what happened. Somebody texted George about the card. Somebody said this is indicative of a spellcaster set. George, who's never
exactly
played
what
a
happened. That's
George, who's
exactly what
never
happened.
played a card or knows what a spellcaster is, goes, "We should talk about this." Carry me, guys.
That is exactly what happened. That is literally exactly what happened.
Merlin, the shape.
Our friendship's getting deep, man. We talk too much.
Josh absolutely nailed it. That is literally exactly what happened. He goes,
If you could do
should
that
talk
and
about
then
it.
tell us to do our research during the segment, is that the trifecta? Is that the Grand Slam?
The community dictated that this is a
Spellcaster said-
shapeshifter and this could change the meta. That's the community
spoken.
dictation.
I used to think this podcast was going to help the YouTube channel. Now I'm wondering if it's what's holding it.
This
back.
episode will certainly not. Let me assure you of that.
Merlin shapeshifter.
There will be a reshoot conversation tomorrow.
Not happening. It's a 1/5 battle of wits. Whenever one of your characters is returned to your hand from play, this character gets +1 ink. I think that symbol is this turn.
It's a great card. It shifts shapes.
Wait,
There's
the
also-
character getting. I don't have the card in front of me, but that sentence didn't make sense. I think it's probably
There's
plus
also
one
another
lore.
Merlin card that's not like the Daddy Merlin.
It's probably not
Baby
plus
Merlin.
one ink. It's probably plus one lore. I would guess, but
It's +1 ink.
Really?
It looks like the ink. Here, I'm gonna send it in the Discord.
I'm not gonna look at it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Cool.
It's way
we talk-
funnier this way.
Should we
It's so
talk
much
about
funnier
OP
this
kits
way.
then?
That's fine. That's fine.
Cool. So you're getting a
Oh,
bunch of
Louis, I
promo
wasn't
cards.
poo-pooing your idea. I'm just saying
It
this
sounds
is
like
way
you were.
funnier.
The community has
This is
spoken.
Way funnier. Oh, okay. Sorry.
They increased promo card prizes. Previously only had 24. Now there's 32. That's, I think, a big win. That's all I got for you.
Are you saying the number of promo
I'm
cards
the
that
guy
come in
coming
the
up with the Lorcana content now. That's what you want?
I tried to come up with an idea and you said no.
I'm getting a flag. I'm getting a flag to keep on my desk so I can go like this every time the community declares it.
Best release ever, everybody. Most
The community
successful-
declaration is easily my favorite part of this podcast. The
We're gonna
community-
do that, Louis. We're gonna declare things
That's
for
fine.
so. I'm so excited.
all the time.
most successful TCG release ever, and George can't even come up with a topic to talk about.
I came up with a topic. You said no. You then changed the topic and then didn't cover the topic.
We're also
All right,
we're
everybody.
also like 2 months post release. Like,
What?
we're like 2 months post release
For what?
for the for
God,
Lorcana?
this is the
All right.
perfect ending
Great
to this
podcast, guys. Great
this
podcast.
was the
This
perfect
great.
ending.
Remember, be kind to the people around you. May the zoo be with you.
Also with
No,
you.
absolutely not. Good night.